We're here at the Burton US Open, the 35th annual one. It's actually the oldest contest of the history book of snowboarding.
I love coming here to Vail. It's such a nice location. I feel like most riders are on their kind of super high level here.
I always love the course at the Open. I feel like they always get a good mix. You know, we like really nice, good jumps, but at the same time, you want those creative features so you can push your riding and push the evolution of the sport.
It's kind of difficult to find the right line, but also really fun to figure something out and to do different stuff than in other contests.
The field is absolutely stacked. You have all the biggest names in snowboarding, and the level of riding is going to be as high as any contest or even higher.
You are not looking at a postcard. Conditions are perfect here in Vail, Colorado for the first of the finals here at the 35th Burton US Open. It is the Slopestyle Women's Finals. And as Max Parra said, it is the oldest and most prestigious contest in snowboarding. I'm very pleased to say I've got two of the most passionate and knowledgeable voices sat here in the studio with me, Tina Dixon and Tom Monterosso. Guys, what is it that makes the US Open so special?
Oh, where do I start? You know, my very first US Open, I had to pre-qualify just to qualify. But once you get up there and you're hiking the pipe and you're like, I've made it. This is the same pipe that Terry Hawkinson has been riding in. You know, there's that pride about the US Open, and it doesn't matter if you're a top-level pro or an aspiring amateur. You're here.
It's got that element, hasn't it? It's the season closer. Everyone wants to win here.
Absolutely. It's been a long, hard-fought battle this competitive season, and the U.S. Open slopestyle or halfpipe title, that's bragging rights. That's how you end a year.
Okay. Well, if you're new to Colorado, let us show you exactly where we are and what we've got in store for you. So make your way into the middle of the Rocky Mountains. You'll find Colorado, and about 2 hours west of the mile-high city Denver, you'll find Vail. It is a stunning ski area. It's absolutely vast. And out on the eastern end of it, you'll find Golden Peak. And there you have Snowboarding Nirvana, a 22-foot deep superpipe, and the slopestyle course that we're going to see used today. 6 of the biggest and most creative features you will see anywhere in snowboarding. So conditions absolutely glorious today. The sun is shining and we've got crisp cold temperatures this morning. It's kept the snow cold, but it's looking beautiful. 6 of the world's best riders are going to be dropping in just under 10 minutes. Eni Rukayavi, Julia Marino, Miyabi Onitsuka, Spencer O'Brien, Anna Gasser, and as we've become so accustomed to, Jamie Anderson qualifying in first will have the luxury of dropping last. So 2 riders, the main 2 to talk about, Anna Gasser and Jamie Anderson.
Yeah, well, Anna Gasser's always kind of been the bridesmaid here at the U.S. Open, and she now has that cab double underflip, and she's also landed in practice at Innsbruck that backside double cork 1080. So this could be her day.
Okay, Anna Gasser's there as well. We're going to hear from both of them. We sat them down and spoke to them earlier in the week.
Burton US Open is for sure one of my favorite events of the year. I've watched it since I started snowboarding, and I'm really excited to compete this week. This course is really challenging. There are so many options, and it's like kind of difficult to find the right line, but also really fun to figure something out and to do different stuff than in other contests.
The course is awesome, always progressive and changing, massive jumps, creative rail features, cool like side hits you can switch your run up with if you're feeling it. And yeah, I mean, it's a really steep pitch and it just like makes for a perfect slopestyle event.
Well, those were the top 2 qualifiers, but it's not just about them today, is it? It was a hard-fought semi-finals.
Absolutely. There's no question. That's going to be the rivalry, but don't count out girls like Eni Rukajarvi, the veteran, and the newcomer, Julia Marino. You're going to see her throw it down today.
Okay, let's take a look back now at some of the highlights from semi-finals. All of the girls in there, and there were a couple of big upsets, not to mention Hayley Langland. So, perfect conditions, but after fresh snow at the start of the week, not many practice runs, which did tell in the number of runs landed. Celia Norendal, the double X Games gold medalist, didn't make it.
Yeah, very surprising not to see Celia Norendal in a final. The young rider from Great Britain Katie Ormerod, and then the big surprise of the day, Haley Langland, failing to qualify.
Well, the X Games medalist from this year, Julia Marino's in there, as is the young Japanese rider Miyabi Onitsuka. Spencer O'Brien, a classic graceful run from her, and Anna Gasser, who we've already heard from. But the first place qualifier, making it look easy as always, is Jamie Anderson. We're going to go to the top of the course now, because Jack Matrani, our course-side reporter, is with Jamie Anderson.
We're at the top here with our first place qualifier, Jamie Anderson. Jamie, how has the course been riding for you this morning?
Oh, it's pretty all-time. It's finally warmed up a bit today, and it's literally perfect.
And every time I look over at you, you have this very calm, cool, collected, deep breathing routine. Would you say that is something that is attributed to your success out here?
Yeah, don't tell anyone. It's really important to breathe, though.
How is the course riding compared to the last couple days?
I took it easy. I'm kind of nursing a little elbow injury, so I really didn't practice much. I kind of let my mind do some work, and yesterday I was really sore and tired, so I kind of took the day off, but today it's fire.
All righty, well, thank you so much. Good luck. We're going to take a quick look at the course. Let's check it out, the animation preview.
Thank you, Jack. Thank you, Jamie. Now, a couple of the riders have talked about this already. The course is so hard and so creative. First obstacle they're coming across is this rail feature. 4 rails and the double kink there, 12 foot, 2 foot, 9 foot.
Well, yeah, and then you land that and you come into this second feature, 2 rail options and the rainbow rail here that you see. And it's important to land those and go straight into the first jump.
Yeah, usually it's rail, 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 jump, jump, jump. Not at the US Open. It goes 2 rails, 2 jumps, and then right into this behemoth.
Well, this rail setup demands that the riders slow down. It breaks up their rhythm. That cannon rail, one of the big features, 16 feet and 40 feet or 15 meters. Then you come down into this, the last of the jumps, 70 feet, so 23 meters, a vast jump.
Well, and each feature is scored out of a 10. So you can get a 10 on a cab, double cork, or you can get a 10 on those rails. You gotta do everything.
Absolutely. If you want to win the US Open Slopestyle, you got to win the jumps, you got to win the rails, and you got to score high on your flow score. You can get a total trick score of 60, total flow score of 40. That's overall impression for a max score of 100.
Okay, 6 riders, 3 runs. The best run will count. That is the format. Very simple for today.
A good slopestyle course for me is a creative course. This year the course here is kind of challenging. There are a lot of options and pretty big rails and a lot of transitions.
This course is really challenging. There are so many options and it's kind of difficult to find the right line, but also really fun to figure something out and to do different stuff than in other contests.
I think it's going to be a good event. I'm pretty excited to see what everyone comes up with and see the different lines that people choose.
Okay, I'm going to put these 2 on the spot now. We've had a look, we've seen the field, we've seen the course. Who do you think is going to do well?
I am going to go with Anna Gasser. Because, like I said earlier, she's been the bridesmaid here, and she has won a series of big air contests at the beginning of the season. And what that does for you mentally is huge. So she's coming into this event with momentum, and she's got that cab double underflip and also a backside double cork.
What about you, Tom?
And I think we can all agree Jamie Anderson is the odds-on favorite. However, if Jamie fails to put it down, I think the girl who can do it today is Julia Marino. Coming off a huge win at the X Games, she's got a double cork in her run, and if she pulls it out, Jamie's going to have to answer back to her.
It's exactly what you talked about. It's that confidence, big X Games medals. It does you the world of good. Now, these are a couple of the highlights. This is the end of Jamie Anderson's run. Just that absolutely pristine style that she's famous for. She makes it look so easy.
Well, yeah, and it's almost to a detriment to her that she makes it look so easy because the judges are, is she even trying? But that is Jamie's forte.
Absolutely. Style and consistency is the name of the game with Jamie Anderson. This girl right here, Haley Langland, one of her biggest rivals this year in the competitive season, only 16 years old, unfortunately failing to qualify. She came up short in her first run, and then check this out, coming off the side, she just lands a little heel heavy, does hold on, but this is the US Open. You can't get away with that and make it into the finals.
Like layback Eurocarve landing. She could have, if she'd have claimed it, it might have looked like another trick.
Absolutely.
That's one of the big elements though, isn't it? Experience versus that youthful exuberance. And Jamie Anderson played it it safe and got a run down, first place qualifier again.
Well, and I think Tina's got a really good point, because as we saw in that animation, the rails score equal to the jumps. Every feature is worth 10 points. So while an Anna Gasser or a Julia Marino may have a double cork in their run, Jamie Anderson's got tail slide 270, nose slide pretzel, and she can score a 9.2, 9.3 on every feature in the rail section and make up for those jumps.
Okay, we're just a couple of minutes away from getting this underway now. It is a mouth-watering prospect. Run 1. 6 riders, 3 runs, only the best score will count. It is one of the toughest and most creative courses in snowboarding. It is not a standard run for any of these women. It is going to demand and challenge them from start to finish. First rider to drop is Tom's favourite, Eni Rukajavi. She's picking and choosing her contest now, and it seems to be working for her. First place in Larks, first place when they put the women on the big jump at Innsbruck Air and Style again. She's in great form.
Yeah, and he's definitely kind of that dark horse rider. You know, going into the Innsbruck Air and Style, it was all eyes on Anna Gasser, but unfortunately Anna not able to put it down. Annie snuck in, front side 7 to the bottom for the win. She is on course, gap out, switch front side lip slide into a 50-50 backside 360. Another rider who's got an incredible rail game, going for that front side 7 tail and not able to put it down.
But that just goes to show she's hitting these first jumps. She's not taking it easy out of the gate. She's going for those 720s on those top jumps. That's going to score high, as well as those rails, like you said.
Yep.
But even though with 3 runs, I think every one of these girls is going to come out firing at the beginning.
Absolutely, and you can rest a little easier in the 3-run format. When you're in semifinals, you only get 2 runs. So if any Rukajarvi were in semis right now, her feet would be to the fire, but she gets to go back up, reset, find out what went wrong, and try to fix it in runs 2 and 3.
Yeah, the 26-year-old, she's been through that. She took that long sabbatical after the Winter Olympics in 2014, really settled herself, and I get the impression with Annie now that she's boxing really clever. She doesn't push herself, and she's really comfortable in this position. So just sliding out on the first of those kickers, but judges yesterday making it very, very clear they want to see people still pushing through the rest of the runs, because there is the cliff bar, raise the bar, best trick still on.
Well, look at the score. You see it right there. Even though she got a 1 on that fall, she got a 7.2. That's a great score. That's a great jump score.
So you can see it there, great graphics to talk us through each of these individual features. We'll be able to tell you, you'll be able to see very clearly where the riders can improve their scores on each individual feature. So the dark blue score, the 29, is the trick score, and there's 2 judges looking at each of the 2 features. So you've got 2 judges on features 1 and 2, 2 on 3 and 4, 2 on 5 and 6, and 2 judges on overall impression. And that's the 40%, the smaller score at the end. And that's looking about use of course, the way these guys are getting through the course, because there are so many options.
Absolutely, and you have to spin in different directions. For example, if a rider does 3 front side spins on, in their jump line, that's going to score lower than a rider who might spin in 3 different directions. That's what Jamie Anderson is also very, very good at.
Okay, Miyabi Onitsuka had a real maiden season when she got the Cab 900, switch frontside 900 in Larks in 2015. It got her a 3rd place. She's been grazing the podium at a couple of other events, but finals at US Open, one of the most prestigious moments of her career so far.
So a switch front side 180 into 50-50, and then 50-50 front side 1. So Miyabi Onitsuka starting off her jump line with a Cab 900 into a gigantic backside 7. Here's where it gets interesting. You got to slow down. You have to shift your whole mentality and hit a rail right before this final jump. So look at the creativity and how she's hitting it from the side, front side 360. Really, really good run from Miyabi Onitsuka. Now we get to see where the judges are setting a run of that caliber. That's going to be an important number to keep a look at.
And she's using this course brilliantly, Tina.
Yeah, and I mean, this was a great start for her. She landed everything. She got all her rails. Her scores on those rail features, they're not as high as what you're going to see from someone like Jamie, but this jump here, the Cab 900 Melon, I mean, that was a great first jump for her. A 7.8
I remember seeing her doing that cab 9 2 years ago, and the grab was just a tickle. She was snatching at it. She's got so much control and confidence.
I think the only thing that's going to hurt her here is that 50-50 indie out. That's not the hardest thing we're going to see, so if she could bump up anything, that would be it.
This is the really important kicker for the score, though, isn't it? Using these transition sides up the side of the kickers. Yep. I've talked to Sandy McDonald, the head judge there, and he said you will get bigger scores off those. We've got a 5.6 on it at the moment. It's feature 6 where she used that transition side. 66.6. Obviously moves into first place after any Rukayavi's Vail, but
okay,
where that
so
will sit overall.
That's kind of where the bar is right now. That's good to know.
Okay. Going now to Jack Matrani. How you going, Jack?
I am doing good. Can't complain. Weather is so beautiful. Sun is shining, and the vibe is at an all-time high. I've had an opportunity to talk to all the girls up here, and everyone is just loving the weather. And it's a nice combination of how everyone's getting ready. You see Jamie Anderson and Mayabi are dancing up here. Spencer O'Brien is with her physio. So everyone's preparing a little bit differently. And Julia Marino, unfortunately, she went down in practice, so that's why she decided not to take her first run. She hasn't pulled out of the contest yet. I did have an opportunity to catch up with her. She's okay. She's just a little flustered, so she's giving herself a little bit of time. But without further ado, we're here. It is a perfect day. The course is absolutely amazing. The sun is shining. We couldn't ask for anything better. And the new generation of progression is upon us. It's so nice to see some double corks and really get us all excited for women's slopestyle. And without further ado, we're going to cut to a segment of the next generation of women's slopestyle.
For years, the women's slopestyle competitions were dominated by riders like Jamie Anderson, Spencer O'Brien, and Eni Rukajarve. But this winter, a new crop of young girls have come through to claim the podium spots at the big slopestyle contest.
It's a bit strange to come here and ride with the girls that I've looked up to my whole life. I'm always learning from them. I always see to what they're doing on the course, and they're just really inspirational.
I remember when I started, it was girls like Jamie Anderson, Spencer O'Brien, and Eni Rukajarve I looked up to, and now I'm friends with them and ride against them and sometimes beat them already, so it's pretty cool.
Girls like Anna Gasser and Julia Marino are now also leading the trick progression.
The beginning of the doubles that I did definitely pushed it forward a bit more, so that was kind of the goal, to break out from just kind of the same type of tricks, and then push forward to some harder tricks that I know that we can all do.
The thing that cracked women's progression this year for us was definitely Julia and Anna's cab double nines. Those I think just kind of really opened the gateway for girls to start chucking some doubles and spinning a little bit harder.
We are hitting the same features than the guys, and I think the style changed a lot. Girls have the grabs, have different grabs and really good styles.
I definitely love watching the style of all the other riders, like Haley Langland, a good friend of mine. She has most crazy girl styles.
I think I got my style from when I used to ride with the guys. I still ride with a lot of boys now, and I always try to copy them, and I think it really pulls off. Girls are going to start chucking this year, especially leading up to the Olympics. Everyone wants to have those tricks that other girls can't do, and so I think, it's definitely become a little bit more progressive, but I'm hoping both style and progression can go hand in hand, and we can be right there with the guys in a couple of years.
Well, undoubtedly the semi-finals were decided with the riders with the most experience because they'd had so little practice. 3 days on from that, and it's almost certain we're going to see a big progression today, isn't it? Do you think we're going to see the doubles?
Yes, I do. Because you have 3 runs, and so you can put down two runs, stock runs that you know that you can do, and then you can step up to do that double.
Okay, you've gone for Eni Rukajarve, though. You think it's going to be more classic?
Eni doesn't have a double cork that I know of. However, if these girls come out swinging and can't put it down or have a little bit of a bobble in their run, I really think Eni's going to make a run for it. But then I think it's the Jamie show. I think that's what it's going to be. Now, granted, Jamie Anderson does have a 1080 in her repertoire, No girl is doing a flat 1080 right now. How does that stack up against Julia Marino's cab double underflip or Anna Gasser's cab double 900? That's for the judges to find out.
Well, Tina said earlier that Annie's got a cab 1080 in the bag, so
yep,
it could still be there.
That's true.
Jack's still up at the top of the pipe, top of the slopestyle course with us now. Jack, we've got everyone's agreed that Jamie's favourite, but we've got Any Rookie RV for Tom, and we've got you've gone for Anna Gasser.
Yep.
I'm going Anna Gasser too. What do you think, Jack?
I think I'm going to agree with you guys. I think we're definitely going to see Jamie Anderson put down the smoothest run, and then we're going to see some double corks from Anna Gasser. She's also got the 270 onto that first rail, and then you can't rule out Spencer O'Brien, just so consistent. So, hey, 6 of the best riders in the world. It's really hard to pick one. Back to you guys.
Lovely, thanks, Jack. Great insight. We just saw, if you were looking then, you would have seen Sani Alababic, just the last man to wish Spencer well in the start gate, the legend of Aaron style and Austrian freeriding.
And down bottom there, Spencer O'Brien's dad looking up the course to watch his daughter take her first of 3 runs in women's slopestyle finals.
And he shares that rarest of names, the double surname Christian name, Brian O'Brien.
So Spencer, Tina, as you were saying, very, very strong rail game. That is where Spencer can set the bar with a lot of points, and that was a gorgeous switch backside 5. Now watch that front side 7 off of her toe edge. One of the only girls in the field doing that trick, and then an incredible front side board slide. It's all going to come down to this final jump to see what Spencer's going to throw down. Backside 7, that right there is a US Open slope style run.
That was so smooth. There was maybe she skidded out a little bit on that front side 7, but if that's me being very nitpicky. I mean, she started out so great. The front side board slide and just smooth.
Locked in on that front board, she got it completely square. So many times you see a couple of riders just bring it around, not quite 90 degrees, but beautiful style and so graceful on that really quiet style in the air.
Spencer is just so powerful and so solid in her riding. She's like a Kelly Clark of slopestyle, raw power.
She did well to hold on to that slight over rotation, didn't she?
Yeah, she did, and she held on, and then on that front side board slide, look at that score, 8.2 on that one feature.
So difficult slowing down between 2 giant kickers to gather your head and your technique to get into a gap out front side board slide.
But
on
she
a rail
landed that backside 720 with authority. I mean, that was a beautiful run for Spencer. You know, and when I saw her in the lift yesterday, she was just all smiles and really positive this US Open.
That is a big trick score right there, 39. Look at features 1 and 6. Spencer just racking up the points, and there's our first 70 of the day. Spencer O'Brien is your new leader.
So, the woman from Alert Bay on Vancouver Island, the BC native, first place. She had such a frustrating US Open back in 2016. She was going for that switch backside 720 again and again, and it just got stuck in her head, and she knew she had that run, but she couldn't land it. So she's gone to the other end of the spectrum now. She's laid down a perfect first run, and she's got the luxury of 2 runs to experiment with. Our next rider in is Tina and I's pick, Anna Gasser. She's only really been on the scene in the last 3 or 4 years, but
challenging. There are so many options, and it's like kind of difficult to find the right line, but also really fun to figure something out and to do different stuff than in other contests.
Well, we talk about the pedigree of the riders in this final, and we just saw Spencer O'Brien put it down like she generally does.
So Anna Gasser in the gate now. The young Austrian worked so hard on her big air game. When she started out in professional snowboarding, she was an expert on rails.
Wow, cab 270 to start things off into a switch tail slide 270. Now coming in switch. Will we see the double cab, double underflip, Anna Gasser?
That was huge!
Shots fired here on the slopestyle course into a gigantic backside 7. Board slide up over that rainbow rail at terminal velocity. And she's got to put this down, going up and over that last jump. Front side 7 over rotated. She almost went front 9. That right there would have been one of the greatest slopestyle runs I have ever seen at the US Open.
We're ushering in a new era of women's snowboarding.
Absolutely.
The money booter concept is gone. We've already seen Miyabi on Itsuka break out the cab 9 first hit. Then you see the double underflip from
It's a very
Anagasa.
good point, because Julia Marino at the X Games, she unveiled her cab double underflip on the last jump right in front of the crowd, whereas Anna Gasser puts it down right here, which is much more difficult.
Look how deep she goes.
Unbelievable.
She's flying and just not even a bobble on that landing. And then comes into this backside 720, gets it around, holds on.
And then again, composing herself into that rainbow rail board slide.
She's going about 30 miles an hour through that board slide.
I literally had chills watching this run.
That was unreal. That was unreal.
She looked so good through the first 270, and then she lets go of that grab early. She knew she was off axis. Over-rotated, just going a little bit too big.
But that's still, for a fall, that's a big trick score.
Oh, imagine if she put down that frontside 7. That would have been easily in the high 80s if she had landed that run. There's no question. Yeah. And I bet Jamie Anderson is breathing a quick sigh of relief right now up at the top, because now she's back in control. She can set the bar with this next run.
Well, it's official. We have got a very fitting season closer of a slopestyle on our hands. Jamie Anderson next to drop. The most successful woman ever in women's slopestyle. She's dominated this.
Did you see that graphic? Her average finish? 1. That's her average finish, first place.
That's amazing.
She doesn't do losing. If she enters, she wins. But she's under pressure, as we've just seen on the run from Anagasa. Jamie Anderson has got to land, because she knows what's coming for her if she doesn't.
And I think Jamie's going to put down a run that she's comfortable with. I think she's going to try to get up into those high 70s, low 80s, set the bar. Backside rodeo, very, very good compensation in the air from Jamie Anderson right there. Not a trick you see from Jamie a lot, so she's definitely switching up her mindset with this run.
Switch into that cannon. Like half cab board slide over an enormous cannon.
And then that copyrighted switch backside 5. She should have a patent on that trick. It is so turnkey for her. So a really good run, a little bit of a bobble on that backside rodeo. I think she went a little bit too big, just like Anna Gasser, sent it almost all the way to the bottom of that jump.
Beautiful gap out to backside lip slide, the benchmark of rail tricks. If you can do a backside lip slide, you're officially good.
And that tail slide to 270 out is just textbook from Jamie, and, you know, locking in the whole way. I did not expect her to do this backside rodeo here. I did not. And I think she's feeling the pressure from what Anna Gasser did, and she knows that even within 3 runs, she has to step it all up.
Well, just a tiny hand drag after the rodeo, but this, like the half cab board slide 270 out.
Yeah.
I haven't seen another woman hitting that switch.
Well, and that's exactly what Tina was referencing earlier in the show, is Jamie's rail game is so good, and that's where she's going to make up a lot of points if she doesn't have the double corks like some of the other girls do on the jumps.
And we're going to see the individual trick scores come up now for each of those 6 features. But the overall impression judges are going to be looking for exactly that. Switch takeoff in a big rail. So huge on that switchboard slide, 8.9 on feature 5. So 43 points. Let's put that in with the overall impression, which again is huge, 75.4. Jamie Anderson moves into first place. Spencer O'Brien in second, Miyabi on Itsuka in third. Anagasa and Eni Rukiyabi haven't stomped runs, which is why they are down in fourth and fifth. But we said Jamie Anderson was favourite on paper, and after the first run, it certainly looks like that. Julia Marino is not riding. That is why we haven't got a 6th place there. Now we're going to take a quick break, and then we will be back very shortly with run 2. Briefly before the break there, Julia Marino is out after a crash in the practice for finals. Tom, you saw it, didn't you?
Yeah, I was just kind of standing out there, and Tina and I were wrapping out before the show, and yeah, she just kind of fell out of the sky, kind of right to her chest. She went down really, really hard, but I hope she's okay, and hopefully we hear word from her. I hear she's with Jack right now, so let's check it out.
I'm up here with Julia Marino. Julia unfortunately went down in practice. What happened?
I was just hitting the last jump switch for the first time, and my legs just slipped out of it, and I overshot the jump completely and over-rotated my flip, so I pretty much just landed on my face, so that's always fun. Yeah.
So much fun, so much fun. I actually saw you without goggles on. You got quite the shiner under there.
Yeah, quite the shiner. Yeah, I definitely feel a little bit numbness on that side of my face, so probably apply some ice.
And what was the decision not to compete?
It was more just based on like feeling, I don't know, feeling a bit shaky
Razzled
right now, and yeah, not feeling the best, a little bit pain in my neck and my face, so.
All right, well, I'll let you regain your focus. I think you're making the right call, and good luck for the rest of the season.
Thank you.
Back to you guys down in the booth.
Well, a disappointing way to end Julia Marino's season after a rookie year at X Games. She gets bronze in big air and then gold in the slopestyle. She would have been desperate to do well here.
I think she made the right move, though, because when you have a crash like that, especially she went huge to her face. And when you have a crash like that, you're just not all there. And you have to be 100% when you're doing a slopestyle competition.
And the other
like
thing
this.
to remember, too, it's been such a long competitive season. These guys and gals are getting beat up at every single event. It takes such a toll on your body. So, Julia, we wish you the best. I hope she's doing all right.
Okay, we're going in to run 2 now. We've got a crowd that's filling out at the bottom of the slopestyle course here. And as always, they are passionate and an educated crowd, which is critical here. Anagassa's head is quite popular down in the finish area. So, run 2, we're going to stay in reverse order for now. Run 3, they will be reseeded into their current standing. So whoever's leading after run 2 will get the benefit of dropping last. Right now, though, first rider to drop is Any Rukayavi. Looked so comfortable in the first run up until the frontside 720 slipped out on her. Let's see if she can rectify that mistake.
And it seems like just from what I'm seeing, judging by Any Rukayavi, Anna Gasser, and Jamie Anderson, it seems like this course is running faster than previous days. So let's see if Any Rukayavi can compensate for her run 1 fall. It went down right here on run 1. Front 7 tail, she puts it down. Coming into the second jump feature. Backside 720.
Killing the speed so hard there.
And then a board slide to fakie up over that rainbow rail. It all comes down to this for Any Rukayavi. Can she put it down? Cab 720. So clean, technical, and landed. That is exactly what Any Rukayavi wanted, because if she didn't put down the run that she wanted, then her back is to the wall. She's got to come out swinging in the third and final run.
And what we know it, what she's done there, we're going to see a very similar run, I think, run 3, but it's going to be cab 10 on that last hit.
I think so too.
I was just going to say that. That's where she could add on, but she started out great with these top 2 rails, and here's where she had the problems in that first run. It was this front side 720, and as a rider, you go into that like, land it, and she came down, she got it around, and then she
hand drags
combined
cost
that.
her a 4.2 though.
Yeah. But she combines the frontside 720 with the backside 722, different directions, and she'll score big for that too.
And look at how much these girls have to slow down while they're riding out of that jump. Any turning her board sideways in the bottom of that landing, that is not a mistake. She has to do that in order to slow down to hit that rail in the middle of the course.
She had 3 goes at that grab. She got it third time of asking then. Didn't give up on it.
Persistence is key, Ed.
Okay, well, let's have a look. We saw the live rank on the side. Maximum 60 points. She's 39.5 out on the tricks. Let's see what that comes in with the overall impression added to it. 69.9. So she takes the podium space, but as we've said, she's got somewhere to go with that third run. Somewhere big.
I think that was judged perfectly, too, because I feel like Spencer's run was a little bit bigger, a little bit cleaner, and she held her grabs longer. So any sliding into that third place spot below Spencer and Jamie, spot on.
One thing to look out for as well, we saw 3 different rotations from Any there. we saw frontside 720, backside 720, cab 720. So really mixing it up on the kickers. Now Miyabi Onitsuka, the young Japanese rider, sat in 4th place, just been bumped out of the top 3 by Eni Rukiavi, and we saw the cab 900. So coming in switch, 2.5 full spins on the first kicker. She was taking no prisoners.
All right, so sticking with the same format on the first rail, coming in switch, cab 270, catching her heel edge and going down. Miyabi Onitsuka, what
so
a
disappointing.
heartbreaker on the first rail feature.
The worst part of this is they have the hop of shame over the knuckle as well. She'll be so upset after that. And the big challenge now as a rider is to reset yourself. Put that in the past and get on.
Exactly. Treat the rest of this like another practice run. Do your thing. Get comfortable. Get down to the bottom. You know that's a throwaway score, and you do have a third and final run.
So here she's doing just what you said, Tom. She's hitting the rail. She's going to hit this bottom. Well, maybe she's not. Well, yeah, she is. Here she goes. She is going to hit that bottom feature. You know, you want to keep moving. You want to keep the body moving.
She's turned that from 3 to 5.
Yep.
She threw down the 360 in her safe first run. If she puts a 5 down there, if she can put this whole run together and then turn that transition takeoff into a frontside 5, she's the only woman doing that. That is going to be a big point scorer.
I think that's a top 3 run, absolutely. But let's see what happened here, because we had a different angle when we called it live. Yep, catching that heel edge.
Well, she landed and she was almost 2 over her toe edge, and then wasn't able to land completely flat on her board, and it put her down.
And there's the transition takeoff. There's actually a transition takeoff on the first kicker as well.
And if you look right there, that's exactly what happened to Haley Langland. Almost the exact same fall that Haley Langland had in semifinals.
You're coming off a vertical axis into a landing. It's so hard.
Onto your heel edge.
Right, so Miyabi Onitsuka puts run 2 down to experience, and she'll go back up and try and put that whole run down with the new frontside 540 on the last kicker in her third run. So we've still got a couple of Spencer O'Brien looking very, very comfortable, still to drop. No Julia Marino, but then we've got Anna Gasser and Jamie Anderson. At the moment, I mean, you called it, Anna Gasser, possibly the best women's slopestyle run ever to look forward to.
I think so. If she can put that run down, I'm really, really interested to see how that's going to compare to Jamie Anderson's run, because let's be frank, I think Jamie's rails are a little bit stronger, but that cab double underflip is unbelievable. We've never seen one of those landed in the women's field here at the U.S. Open Slopestyle.
Do you think it was a mistake she went so big?
No. Because because I've seen her ride before, and she charges. That's how she is.
Yep.
That's just how she rides. She doesn't hold back.
Yeah, there's no governor on Anna Gasser. I feel like Jamie Anderson's dominance is relying upon the fact she knows when to send it and when to hold back. Anna Gasser, it's 4 to the floor at all times.
Okay, well, we're in the middle of slopestyle finals now, but the action is coming thick and fast this weekend at the US Open. Tomorrow, it is the blue ribbon event, the halfpipe finals. Semi-finals saw some absolutely phenomenal action in the women's.
And this is the weather you want for a pipe final. It's going to be like this tomorrow and all day today for slopestyle finals. It's what they call US Open Blue. It's unbelievable. That pipe was riding so well and so fast for these girls yesterday morning, and it was incredible. They were absolutely boosting.
Yeah, there was no shortage of amplitude. There was one woman, Chloe Kim, just struggled slightly with her second run, but this first run, a thing of beauty.
And Chloe Kim, you can't forget last year her doing those back-to-back 1080s and just setting a new standard for women's halfpipe riding.
Yep.
And she's here. She wants to defend that title.
Yeah, without a doubt. With those back-to-back 1080s, she almost skipped 2 or 3 more logical steps in female pipe riding progression and went straight to the top. It was a watershed moment in U.S. Open history last year, and
Before
I think we'll see that tomorrow.
Before we move off the pipe, Kelly Clark had a fever. Do you know anything about her? Has she managed to get that under control?
Well, when I talked to her yesterday, she was not in good shape. She had been throwing up at the top of the pipe. She wanted to go home and sleep and rest it. And I actually saw her last night for a little bit, and she looked a lot better.
Good.
And they do get a chance to practice today, and I think by tomorrow she's going to be 110% again.
Yeah.
Testament that she's still qualified for the finals in that
I don't know
state.
how she did that. Yeah.
Unbelievable, unbelievable. Right, back to women's slopestyle finals now. Can Anagasa lay down at one of the biggest runs we've ever seen in women's slopestyle? This is the question facing us.
I think absolutely. I think we might see it here in just a minute or two. I think she's going to put it down and really put Jamie Anderson's feet to the fire.
What do you think we can expect from Spencer O'Brien? Where's she going to push her run?
Well, I think she's going to keep doing what she just did, but make it bigger and better landing. She may do a little bit more on the rails. She can definitely do a couple more technical moves on the rail, and that's what she's known for. Like Spencer can do that, but Spencer. Going back to earlier this year, she sprained her ankle. It was like the size of a grapefruit, and she wasn't able to defend her win at the X Games. And so she's coming into this event a little bit extra hungry also, and that does a lot for a rider.
I listened to a bit of the race control. I've been sneaking in there at different points during the week just to do some research. And there was a lot of chat saying that Spencer was looking very, very calm and very confident on this course.
Well, and Spencer O'Brien shines when all eyes are on the other girls. That's when she comes out of nowhere because people kind of forget about her. She's one of the best slopestyle riders in the history of women's snowboarding. So I feel like when all eyes are on the Jamie Andersons and the Anna Gassers, that's when Spencer is cool, calm, and collected. She comes out of nowhere and she can surprise everybody.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we're looking now up at the top of the start gate, and there is Spencer O'Brien. Sani Alababik, a coach just in the background there. Interesting, Spencer's really good friends with Anna Gasser and Claudia Medlova as well, isn't she? I mean, they're very different styles of rider, but obviously enjoy sessioning together. They bring a lot to each other's riding, I think.
Absolutely. As well as Jamie Anderson. All these girls are really good friends when they're not wearing contest bibs, but when they are, make no mistake about it, they all want to win. They are hungry competitors.
Okay, keep your eyes out as well. I'm going to ask both of you later on where you think this cliff bar, raise the bar best trick is going so far. I mean, it's cab double underflip at the moment, maybe.
All right, so Spencer O'Brien gapping out, front side board slide. Spencer can definitely compete with Jamie on the rails. That is another thing to keep an eye out. Very technical tricks. There's a switch backside 5 for her first of 3 jumps. And a front 7 off the toes. Spencer O'Brien, so solid, sticking with the same run as her first run, but so far absolutely cleaning it up. And will we see the back 7? There it is, puts it down, so smooth. Just from my reaction to that, I think it's going to be an improvement from her first run. It was cleaner and it was bigger.
One of the things that stood out to me there was the pressure she got on the nose slide to pretzel out. She had so much. There was flex in that board then. I want to see the replay on that.
Yeah, so gapping over that kink right there, you do not want to get hung up on that elbow in the middle of the rail.
Go.
Yeah, look at how her legs are going one way and her body's already set up the other way. Super technical rail trick. And then a switch backside 5. Stomped perfectly.
It's such a quiet style, isn't it? There's no arm waving anywhere.
Yeah, look at her style in the middle of that frontside 720. And her first run, she somewhat skidded out on that there, much better landing. But here was the highlight for me. Look at that, frontside board slide, just styling it out.
Well, she was so in control of the landing of the front 7 that she chucked a cloudburst on her way into the Red Bull features.
Yeah.
Well, and she does this frontside 720 off the bottom jump, and if she's going to make an improvement, I think she'll take that to a 9 on her third run.
Interesting, because then she'll be coming into, if she takes that to a 9, that is going to be a high scoring run. So 41.8 for a trick score and a 33.8
Wow.
Spencer O'Brien is your new leader. Wow. And now it's starting to heat up. This is where it gets real fun.
Well, there's pressure on Jamie Anderson now because of that reseeding at the end of run 2. If she wants to be last to drop, she's got to step this run up. She's absolutely got to step this up.
And I feel like what did it for Spencer there was the rails. That was really technical and big rail riding. I think that's what put her over the top.
Board slide pretzel had definitely been pumped up. I'm claiming that I saw that one first. Pretty sure Sandy McDonald, the head judge, is listening to us. Okay, next up, Anna Gasser. Both Tina and I have our money on Anna, and we've seen one incredible run. She dropped it down at the bottom. Can she put it all together now?
Currently sitting in 5th place with a first run score of 47.9, but keep in mind, that's a score of almost 50 with a fall. That is how strong her run is. So starting things off with a switch front side 270, and then a switch board slide 270. All right, here it comes. The cab double flip, sending it to the sweet spot and putting it down. And there's that backside 720. Anna Gasser is looking very, very solid right now. Board slide up over that rainbow rail. Now this is where she has to put it down. Will she take the lead with this run? Frontside 720. That right there might be the greatest women's slopestyle run the U.S. Open has ever seen.
Rotating in and out of the top rails, a huge double underflip, cab double underflip. That's top to bottom. I can't see anyone beating that.
It was unbelievable.
Okay,
Look at these live
editorially,
rank
you're not
scores, too.
supposed to say that.
She starts out with an 8.7. That was her first feature. And then she follows that up with an 8. And we haven't even gotten yet to the highlights of her run.
8.7 on this, the cab double underflip. And as you said, Tom, they're all sent to the very end of the blue lines.
Yeah. No governor on this girl. She sends it every single run. Look at that backside 720. So she is going to have a very big trick score.
Really lets that was bellissimo. I want to kiss my fingers, like let the back leg hang right out there.
And the judges love that frontside 7. This is where it went wrong for her in run 1. But she opens up, spots her landing, and stomps it.
I thought she'd
perfectly.
snatched at the takeoff there. I thought she might have a bit too much rotation, but she gently slowed it down throughout the rotation.
She held on to that grab.
Wow.
Look at that trick score.
Her trick score is higher than her first run total score. So 83.8, Anna Gasser, your new leader. And you know what? I really think Jamie Anderson's up top, stoked on that run.
Absolutely.
I think now because Jamie has to put her foot on the gas. Full
Absolutely.
speed.
Jamie is a genuine, she's a snowboarder. She wants to see good snowboarding, and she probably is up top going, that was amazing.
Yep.
Oh, wait, I got to go now. Like, she's got to find that balance.
Totally.
But let's not forget, she has got the frontside 10 in there. A flat spin frontside 10 is up there. It's on a par with a double underflip.
100%. Some might say a frontside 1080 spun flat is harder than a cab double underflip. That's, that varies by rider. But also keep in mind, Jamie has tricks she can do on the rails that she hasn't shown yet and can step those up and really make up a lot of points.
Yeah.
Okay, back up to the top. We've got Jamie Anderson up in the start gate ready. I mean, the fact that Anna Gasser has taken first place is one thing.
Yep.
I think what's much more important is that we've had pretty much a seminal moment in snowboarding with that run.
Absolutely. And we talked about Anna Gasser earlier, and she was doing the cab double underflip, and then she had that backside 720. I didn't think she was going to even do a frontside 720 off the bottom. I thought she might have played that a little bit safe, but she didn't. She didn't. She's like, no, I'm not done. I'm still just going to keep going.
Well, and that's the competitor in her. Even if she had done, say, a frontside 3 off that bottom jump and gotten first place in this event with that run, Anna Gasser would have gone home wishing she did the frontside 7. That's the deciding factor. As we have Jamie Anderson trying to answer back on course right now.
26-year-old
270.
Out of Tahoe. Mixing it up already. It's a completely different run to what we saw in run 2.
Switch frontside 720. Coming into that Red Bull cannon. Switch board slide 450, and unfortunately not enough. Jamie Anderson going down on that one random rail feature right before the last jump.
Hold the front page, switch board slide to 450 out into a front side 10. That's going to push Anna Gasser all the way. That's what she's thinking about there.
But now think about this, because that's not going to be Anna Gasser's second run score. Anna Gasser is going to stay in first place, make no mistake about it. So now Jamie Anderson is in the precarious situation of going into a final not dropping last. Anna Gasser is going to drop last in the third and final run. So Anna Gasser right now has a hand up on Jamie Anderson.
Well,
that's interesting.
And Jamie, she didn't practice yesterday. Remember that. And even before that, there was not a lot of practice for these riders because of the weather. So how much is Jamie calling audibles? How much is she like throwing in new tricks and trying to play around with what she can do with what Anna Gasser and Spencer O'Brien has shown?
Well, if you were watching earlier when we saw Jack Matrani's little interview with Jamie, she's the queen of understatement. If 100%. She's got understated style. She said she's got a little twinge in her elbow. She thought she'd sprained her elbow. She went and got it x-rayed. It's a fractured elbow. She's right. She qualified in first for the finals with a fractured elbow. It is the last big event of the season. Is she going to risk it all here? Why not roll the dice? Try for a front side 10.
I really think she is. She won here last year, and it's one thing to win one Burton US Open Slopestyle. Plenty of riders have done it. It's another thing to win two and do it back to back. She's a competitor. I know Jamie Anderson. She is going to absolutely send it next run. She wants the win.
Okay, let's take a look at the overall standings after run 2 then. In first place with that ridiculous run, Anna Gasser. Spencer O'Brien in second, Jamie Anderson third. Eni Rukiavi and Miyabi Onitsuka rounding out the 5. We're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be back shortly with the third and final runs. Welcome back. We are warming up for the third and final runs here at the Burton US Open in Vail. We've been checking out the social media. The hashtag Burton US Open is delivering some joy. Jenny Jones, second place in Stratton back in the day, and I think she won Vail Sessions here, has said Anna Gasser, style for days, an incredible run. Good to see her joining in the conversation. It is ridiculous, isn't it?
Yeah, the drama's building. It's been unbelievable thus far.
Yeah, well, I love hearing that from Jenny Jones, too, because she was another girl that, like, kind of was, there was no middle ground with her. She would just go all out.
Yep.
And she sees that in Anna Gasser, and we've been talking about that all day. There's no middle for her. She is going to go all or nothing, and we saw it.
I think it's important to put in context what we're seeing here as well with where we were 10 years ago in women's slopestyle. You look at someone like Jenny, look at Spencer O'Brien, look at Jamie. They were the women who were at the vanguard of pushing women onto gender equality on the kickers.
Yeah, absolutely. They've created this entire atmosphere. They've all laid a brick in the foundation, and here we are about to tear the roof off with riders like Anna Gasser and Jamie Anderson.
Okay, well, Jack Matrani, our man on the ground, has got Jamie Anderson there in the finish area.
I'm here with Jamie Anderson. Jamie, you've won the last 3 U.S. Opens. You just watched Anna Gasser put down a run. What's it going to take to get back on top?
I think it's going to just take a pretty solid run. I kind of sketched out that last run, and I'm going to try to step it up a little bit, be clean and steezy.
Do you feel the pressure to throw a double?
No. I don't feel the pressure to throw a double. I want to, and it's kind of been in the works for a little bit, but sorry, someone's calling. But I'm riding with a broken elbow right now, so I've been super mindful this week. I wasn't sure if I was even going to compete, so I'm super happy to put a run down and see what flows.
Well, you're riding so well, and I hope the best for you in your last and final run. Good luck to you. Back to you guys in the booth.
Thank you, Jack. Thank you, Jamie. Now, we have reseeded the riders, so they're going to run in reverse order of their current standings, not semi-final standings. So Miyabi Onitsuka is the first to drop in the third and final runs here at the Women's Slopestyle Finals, Burton US Open.
And Miyabi Onitsuka, another one of those riders. Don't count her out. If she puts down the run that she's capable of, she can sneak up onto that podium and mix things up a lot. Half cab, 50-50, gapping over the kink of that first rail feature into a 50-50 frontside 180, setting her up switch and uncorking the cab 900. So Miyabi Onitsuka putting down one heck of a run right now. Backside 7, slamming on the brakes to come into that Red Bull Rainbow Rail. And now
let that one slide.
This right here is what it all comes down to. Frontside 5 off the side, missing the grab, unfortunately, but it's going to be a good scoring run for Miyabi Onitsuka.
I think when you look at the plane of the takeoff and the landing there, I mean, yes, she's missed the grab. The judges are going to take that to pieces, but I'd fully give it to her on the claim. That's not an easy trick, and we've seen her battling with it throughout practice.
Absolutely. All right, so the judges scoring that first rail trick 3.5, the second one 5.6. So losing a little bit on those rails. Let's see if she makes up for it here in the jumps. An 8.2. The judges like that quite a bit right there, that cab 900.
Yeah, her jumps were definitely her highlight, and she combined that with this backside 720 mute. Got a great score, 7.6. If there was anything that was, maybe her weak point on this course, it would be that feature right there. Just a 50-50 where we've seen, so many other tricks on that rail from other girls. But the front side
I think she was
40.
looking for a front board there. And we saw Spencer locking that 90 degrees. Yep. She got about 30 degrees on it. And it's a nothing trick. It's
one thing to keep in mind, though, I'm going to read some ages here of some of the riders in the finals. 26, 29, 24, 26. Miyabi Onitsuka, 18. She's young. She's got a lot of time, long career ahead of her. Unfortunately, she will stay in 5th place. But you know what? 5th place at the Burton US Open, I'd take it 10 times out of 10.
I'd take 25th.
I would take it 12 times out of 10.
Exactly.
Okay, so the crowd's filling out here in Vail. It's a stunning day. We've got perfect conditions and one of the most challenging creative courses ever seen in slopestyle competition. And right now, we've got 4 of the best women in the world waiting to drop to decide this year's title.
Oh, if I saw these 4 girls in a lift line, just getting up on the lift all together, I wouldn't even know what to think, which one's going to take first. I don't understand. This is so great. It's history making what we've seen here. And you can say that at so many other events, but it's real this time. This is a really, really fantastic women's slopestyle competition.
Yeah, every once in a while a U.S. Open comes around where you leave and you just witnessed something special. And I'm starting to feel that now, just on day 1 of slopestyle finals. We haven't even gotten to the men's slopestyle finals or the men's and women's halfpipe finals, but I'm really starting to feel like this is kind of one of those turning point events for snowboarding going into an Olympic year also.
Okay, well, I don't want to stray too far from slopestyle, but I think the Japanese riders in halfpipe have come this year with a point to prove that they can go bigger than Sean on a backside hit, which yesterday in semi-finals was just utter madness. That in itself is going to be a show.
Yeah,
100%.
the word that I heard from you guys a lot was stratosphere. They're going into the stratosphere. They were going so big
It was unreal.
yesterday.
It was absolutely unbelievable. And I think here the big storyline, not just in the women or the men, but just in slopestyle in general, is the course. The course is the great equalizer. It's kind of making it anybody's game because, the whole regular orthodox approach to a slopestyle has been mixed up by just changing one feature and putting that Red Bull rail feature right before the last jump. I think that's changing the entire landscape of this event.
Let's not forget the transition takeoffs that we've just seen Miyabi Onitsuka use as well. These are critical elements, and it suddenly takes away from just who's got the biggest tricks. It's like, how do you use those tricks? Where do you put them?
Exactly, the creativity, and that, with progression kind of maxed out on the men's and women's level, I don't know how much more that their bodies can physically take. I think the creativity and the progression is going to be pushed by how these courses are constructed.
Well, risk is a massive element that the judges are taking into account. They've got that use of course, they've got the progression, along with all the standards, amplitude, execution, but that risk is one of the key things we've seen. Miyabi Onitsuka with the Cab 900 first hit, Anagasa using, that should be that cab double underflip should be used on the last jump, not the first.
Yeah. Well, and then you can be technical, you can do all of that stuff, but there's always the basics with snowboarding and especially slopestyle. Go big and land your tricks, and that's exactly what we have seen from Anagasser.
Okay, 4 riders left to drop in this women's slopestyle final. This is Vail, Colorado at its very finest. We had about a foot of snow, 30 centimeters at the start of the week, so everything looks stunning. It did slow down practice, but it certainly didn't slow down the amount of powder runs that people were bagging on Monday and Tuesday. Tom, you got a couple, didn't you?
Yeah, we've pretty much gotten Vail as good as you can get it. Powder day, the first day we showed up. A little bit of inclement weather for, 2 days ago for practice, and then, of course, the clouds break and it's bluebird and sunny here for the finals days.
One of the most stylish and graceful female snowboarders out there, Eni Rukajärvi from Finland, dropping in for her third and final run.
Starting things off with a switch frontside lip slide, going up and over that kink. And then 50-50 backside 360 into a frontside 720, a little bit of a bobble there, and this is the finals.
There was a taste of the Charleston there as she danced out of that knuckle, wasn't there?
There was a little bit. And then a board slide to Fakie coming into that last jump. Cab 720. So all in all, a pretty clean run from Eni Rukajärvi. Unfortunately, I think that bobble on that frontside 720 on the first jump is really going to affect her.
Well, she's one of the elder stateswomen of women's snowboarding, and she's got that beautiful stock run that will always get her a podium, but it feels, in the current context of what we've seen go down, suddenly one of the more technical runs actually feels, dare I say it, basic.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, now we're in the landscape of, for the women, you gotta have the kill shot. You gotta have that one big trick that's gonna bump up your score by 10 or 15 points, because Anna Gasser has the cab double, Julia Marino has the cab double, girls like Claudia Medlova even have the double backside rodeo, Jamie's got the 10. Eni needs one of those, and then she's right back in the running as one of the top 3 female slopestyle riders on earth.
Go back 3-4 years and you would have seen 540s and 360s used as setup tricks, justifiably in a safe run.
Yep.
Now that's 720s.
Yep.
Your setup tricks are backside and frontside and cab 7.
Yeah, 360 and a 540 won't even get you out of semifinals.
Unbelievable. So Eni Rukajärvi, 67.8. A decent score for what for her is a second-rate run. So the Finn, she got 2 big wins under her belt. I think she took out Jutor and Larks. Oh no, second at Jutor, and then Larks was first place, and Aaron Style in Innsbruck was first place.
Yep.
So great season for her nonetheless.
Well, and right now, we do have our podium. We just don't know in what order that podium's going to land. We got Spencer O'Brien, Jamie Anderson, and your current leader, Anna Gasser, still to drop the final 3 runs of women's slopestyle finals here at the 35th annual Burton U.S. Open Snowboarding Championships in Vail. So there's Jamie Anderson currently sitting in 3rd place.
She's won here for the last 3 years in a row. She is the reigning Olympic gold medalist. She's dominated women's slopestyle for the last 10 years. Will this competition signal the beginning of a changing of the guard?
And look at the difference in the point score. 75.6 for Spencer Bryan in second, 75.4, 0.2 of a point separating second and third place, Spencer O'Brien and Jamie Anderson. The big question I have is, how is she going to answer back right now?
Which run is she going to do? Is she going to do the run she might be more familiar with, or is she going to change it up and try to throw something in there to bump that score up?
Compare this rail section to Anna, and Anna's using rotation on both of those. And she's spinning on and off those top 2 features.
So backside 5 into the switch frontside 720.
Oh, perfect.
That right there
is
huge.
Yes. Beautiful.
That
and
is
super tech.
Huge.
Front 10? No.
Frontside 720, so sticking with the run she knows she can land. That's going to score big, though. I'll tell you right now, I am so glad I'm in the announcer's booth and not in that judge's room about 10 feet away right now. That is going to be really tough to put a score to.
We saw that cannon rail in semis for the men. All of the guys were hitting that, and that became a critical feature. There were some big points to be dragged out of that, and that's exactly what Jamie's done. She's so smart.
So I think she's going to score between a 9 and 10 on just that feature. It depends on where they put her there. But she's going to score high. Look at that, a 7.6 just out of the gate.
Well, I said there's no rotation. It's still stunning. That absolute classic rail trick, the backside lip slide.
That tail slide 270 out, scoring an 8.5. So backside 5, that'll probably be her lowest scoring jump trick. It's just a setup trick, though. I think Jamie can sacrifice a few points because she's putting down stuff like this cab 720 mute. And Tina, this is what you're talking about. Coming off that Red Bull cannon, this is basically a switch frontside 5 with a board slide in the middle of it.
And look at that, a near 10, 9.6 out of a maximum 10.
She was so light on her heels because she came off the kicker sideways. She didn't wait for the gap.
That makes the hair on the back of my neck stand up just watching that trick. It does not look safe in the least.
That replay has reduced all of us to like 8-year-old children. We're sat with our hands between our knees like,
that is a big trick score right there, 46.7.
Just underneath Gasser's trick score, but the overall impression is just below as well. So she moves ahead of her.
Spencer down to third. Not enough to take down Anna Gasser. So Spencer O'Brien right now, the only rider who can really shake up that podium. Anna Gasser sitting pretty comfortably right now.
One of the really nice things that we've got is a huge range of style here. We've had so many different, and it's Sandy McDonald, the head judge, talked about this. How do you compare apples with steak? Because that's what you're doing with Spencer and Anna.
Exactly, and different approaches too. Jamie Anderson, strategic and smart. Anna Gasser, highly skilled and pedal to the metal.
Okay, well, Jack Mitroni is down in the finish area with Jamie Anderson now.
That's right, we're here with Jamie Anderson. Last time I spoke to you last run, you said you're going to go up and put down a smoother, more technical run, and you did. How was that board slide 450 out? Was that the first time you landed it?
I did one in practice, but that was the second one. And I fell on a couple, so it was kind of hit or miss.
How are you feeling about the run you just put down?
I feel like 90% good. I think I could have gone bigger on my cab 7 and back 5, but I'll take it. I'm grateful.
I'll take it too. Congratulations, Jamie Anderson. Back to you guys in the booth.
Thank you, Jack. Pretty telling that gives you an idea of just how much skill she's got. That she thought about it, she did one in practice, and then she's like, yeah, I'll do it in the comp.
Well, and I love it that she's like, that was about a 90%. Like, there's still room for improvement, and that's what makes her great. But you can't forget about her elbow injury. She's injured.
doing that with a fractured.
Yeah, that
what?
does not sound very fun. But currently sitting in second place, we still have Spencer O'Brien and Anna Gasser. What do you think we're going to see from Spencer?
I think Spencer's big strength is the different rotations we'll see. We see she's got big switch backside spins, and that's, for me, that's, I think, where she can go and really harvest points on this course. Switch backside 7, or you were talking about the 9.
I think she may take that bottom jump to a 9.
I think at this point she kind of
kinda
has to. You're almost forced to, because Jamie Anderson just put down a run that bumped Spencer down to 3rd place. So if Spencer does that same run, she's probably not going to bump Jamie down. She's got to step it up a little bit, and certainly not Anna, who's got the double underflip, cab double underflip in her run. I think she has to go to 9.
Yeah.
I've got an old friend back in the UK who always, his motto was ride to the beat. If there's no beat, don't ride. Right now, Spencer O'Brien, her mojo is firing. She's 100% in there.
Yep.
And I think, like we saw it on those rail tricks, if she can get all of those rail tricks stuck together really nicely at the top, I think that line's going to flow and we're going to see something pretty special.
And now it's an interesting rivalry, because usually we're talking Jamie Anderson versus Anna Gasser. Now, you know, for the rest of this show and for the rest of the day, it's Spencer versus Anna. So that's a whole different approach in how both of those girls ride, as opposed to Jamie and Anna. So it's going to be really interesting to see what Spencer comes out with.
Well, and you mentioned earlier that these women are all friends, and it's true. And what happens when you see your friends do well? It makes you do better.
Yep.
And so you see it. Each rider is pushing the other rider to a level that they may not have done before, and it's great to see.
Are you reducing the US Open to a really high-profile session? Like mates session? Yeah, we're just doing it in front of a couple of million people, but
we're
it's
just
fine.
doing it in a competitive setting at the US Open, 35th anniversary, no big deal.
Before we spoke to Jamie, very quickly, we were talking about that idea that how do you compare apple and steak in a judging format? Like, what Anna's doing is breathtaking, whether you know snowboarding or not. That cab double underflip is just a really good, I mean, it's a Hollywood trick.
It's a spectacular athletic feat.
How do you compare that with something as technical as a switch backside 7?
It's a good point. And, you know, I think what it comes down to is the judges. And those guys, we got guys in that room over there who have won the U.S. Open halfpipe before, Guillaume Morissette. We have other guys in there that have competed at such a high level, and they know snowboarding so well. It's their job to find that balance between the core and the mainstream. And I think they're doing a great job today.
Yes,
I really do.
Absolutely. And I agree with you on that.
Okay, we're back in the start gate with the 29-year-old out of Vancouver Island. She's coming off the back of that ankle injury, but she's returned so strong. Really enjoying herself here today. She knows she's got 2nd place in the bag. Can she turn that into 1st?
She wants to. And right now, you know, she's got nothing to lose. She's getting a 2nd place no matter what. And 2nd place at the U.S. Open is huge. But you know, Spencer O'Brien wants to stand atop that podium. There's her father right there, Brian O'Brien, looking on. I can't imagine how good it's going to feel for Spencer O'Brien to put down that run and ride right down to her dad.
I love those sockeye mitts she's got as well.
Yeah. All right, so Spencer O'Brien on her 3rd and final run. Everything on the line right now. Can she dethrone Anna Gasser? Switch backside 540. That was very clean from Spencer O'Brien. And then a frontside 720 off the toes. Look at the pop she generates off the lift. That right there is one of my favorite tricks on that feature. Frontside board slide. Will we see the backside 900?
Ooh.
She wanted it.
It looked like she was debating.
Wanted it.
Yep.
She didn't rip that hard on the takeoff. I mean, it's a big kicker.
She spun it slow, absolutely. Oh, Spencer O'Brien is going to have to settle for 2nd place, but what a show she put on today.
I think you say settle. I think in the face of the run that we saw from Anna Gasser, run 2, that is, you're not settling for anything. You're bowing down in the face of something incredible.
Something great that just happened at the U.S. Open again.
Yeah, there have been some landmark moments here at the U.S. Open over the years. from the likes of Ayumu Hirano, a 12-year-old boy poaching the pipe in 2011 and going as big as anyone in the finals, through to Yuki Kidono landing back-to-back 1620s 2 years ago. Then Shaun White's ridiculous backside air last year.
I love this frontside 720 that she does off the toes. It is just, it's the highlight of her run for me. And then this is the second highlight for me, that frontside board slide. I mean, Spencer can walk away from this U.S. Open just proud.
Oh.
But this was it, the backside 7. It was like, oh, is she going to go for a 9? And it looked like she was maybe thinking about it.
Well, and look how far she drifted off to the right. I think when she took off, that might have spooked her just a little bit. She's drifting really far rider's right, and she might have just kind of pulled the plug on it, which that in and of itself, what these girls are capable of when they compensate midair is incredible.
Just that landing. The body had over-rotated, and she had the presence of mind to say, I'm going to put it down flat base, and then once I can get my toes in, then I'll let my weight slide.
Yep.
Because most normal people would have just dug their heel edge in and been whoosh, scorpion or...
So Spencer O'Brien, third place finish here at the U.S. Open. Jamie Anderson is going to finish in second. And Anna Gasser, will we see a victory lap? What is going to happen right now? If I were her, I would feel pretty content taking a victory lap.
Yeah, what would you do? Would you lay down your best, or would you method every single hit?
Probably method every single hit if
I
I were as good as Anna Gasser.
Oh, we're getting the style line. We're getting the style line. Sit back and enjoy it as easy and relaxed as it comes from the best in the world right now.
And there's a cab 900 from Anna Gasser. And a
Imagine having that as your backup.
7.
So that was her backup to the cab double underflip.
You think we're going to see a double cork backside 10 right here? Nope, she's spinning frontside.
Yeah.
Big old
frontside 3.
Massive nose bone on it. I did notice that Pierre Wickberg, the old pro, was very vocal on Twitter recently. He wanted no frontside indies called out, so be careful of that today. There she is, though. Austria's Anna Gasser. First place here at the Burton US Open, 35th edition, the oldest and most prestigious snowboard contest in the world.
Jamie Anderson in second place at the buzzer on her third and final run, putting it down. Let's not forget that. And Spencer O'Brien finishing off on the podium in third. But it is that girl right there, Anna Gasser, that made Burton US Open history in its 35th year one more time. First place, her first big slopestyle win. Tina, you were saying earlier during one of the breaks, she's won a bunch of big airs. She's had good showings at slopestyles, but she has yet to have that introductory moment with a huge win at an event like a U.S. Open.
She started off this season winning a series of big airs, and I think it just gave her confidence. But yet in slopestyle, she hadn't proved herself yet.
Yep.
And so coming into this event, she had been a bridesmaid. She had finished on the podium, but never on top of the podium. And once you allow yourself to win, like she was doing earlier in big airs, it's a whole different mindset, and it changes your confidence level on the jumps, on the rails, and just your whole approach to competition.
100%. Well, you know, people may assume that big air and slopestyle are similar because there's a jump involved, but they're completely different disciplines. You look at the men's field, Mark McMorris is so dominant in slopestyle, but then you look at Maxence Perot is pretty dominant in big air because, you know, Max might know one trick that other people don't. That's kind of where Anna was stuck for a little bit, but now, today, everything clicked for her.
It's a very, very difficult balance to find because you talked about that big air series that she won. Milan, Mönchengladbach, Moscow, Quebec, and Alpensia. She has to ride scaffold jumps, and the strategy is completely different just to slopestyle kickers, let alone putting a 6-run piece together. I mean, the consistency required for that run.
Absolutely. I mean, when you're hitting one of those scaffolding jumps, you're riding 300 vertical feet and maybe 400 feet in distance. Here, you're riding 1,100 vertical feet and maybe a quarter mile with 6 different features. So I think Anna Gasser had all the ingredients compartmentalized, but today she kind of put them all in a bowl, stirred them up, it all clicked.
Well, and I love that her celebration run, she threw in the cab 900.
Yeah, just for fun.
I already won, but I'm going to throw this cab 900. And then that frontside 3 off the bottom jump. I mean, that's as good as it gets when you can have that victory lap and just have some fun with it, but still do big moves.
I'll be very interested. I watched her in Innsbruck mid-season this year, so beginning of February, and she was on home turf. There was a very real prospect that they were going to see an Austrian winning in Innsbruck for the first time since Stefan Gimpel took it in 2001. And she didn't have the run she wanted, and she didn't deal with the pressure that well.
Yep.
She's bounced back from that. And I mean, this is a big show, and there's a lot of eyes on her here, and she's absolutely thrown that down. Let's take a look at the winning run now.
All right, Anna Gasser starting things off, dropping in switch, going up and over that kink, cab 270, coming out switch on both of those rail features. And here it is. This is the other thing. A cab double underflip on her first jump. So I think that's going to score higher with the judges than on the last jump.
Grab and tweak on that back 7 as well.
Backside 720, sending it super deep. And then right here, showing that she can spin in 3 different directions, going front side 720. So that's something I even failed to mention. She spun on 3 jumps, 3 different directions, and had a double cork in one of those. That's a run for the ages from Anna Gasser.
And if you want to see real control in snowboarding, you're watching the grab.
Yep.
And the strength and the length of the grabs on those big spins was impeccable.
Yeah.
Really, really strong.
You know, and you guys talked about this earlier. This is near the end of the contest season. And for her to wrap up her season, or nearly wrap up her season with a win like this, with a run like this, I mean, watch out next year.
I mean, it takes so much momentum, not to already talk about next season because we're not even done with the U.S. Open. But, you know, the big elephant in the room is the Olympics. Who's it going to be? Who's the favorite in slope? Who's the favorite in big air, which is making its debut in the Pyeongchang Games? I think right now the favorite in slope has to be Anna Gasser, and that's the momentum that swings you into that next competitive season. That is part of what makes the U.S. Open so special.
I said, are we witnessing a changing of the guard? At the moment I said it, I regretted it because I thought Jamie Anderson will undoubtedly have something to say about that.
Sure.
Jamie said she's been trying doubles, it's there. She hasn't quite got them. I mean, that's a big decision for Spencer O'Brien, Cheryl Mass. Even, I mean, she's only 26. Any Rukayavi, but Jamie Anderson as well. Have you got a double in you? Are you prepared to take that risk and learn that trick?
Absolutely, and you've seen it in the men's field, specifically in the big air realm. You take a look at Mark McMorris, Sebastian Toutant, and Maxence Perot. They have multiple double and triple corks. And then you take a look at guys who are consistent podium finishers, Sepe Schmitz, Rope Tonteri. Those guys kind of made the active, they're the conscious decision to say, I don't want to get into that double and triple stuff. I'm going to keep it flat, and I'm going to do my thing. Sven Thorgren, your #1 qualifier, who you're going to see this afternoon in Slopestyle, he spins things flat and just kind of hopes it works out for the best. It's a whole different approach to riding.
But let's not forget, there's another elephant in the room when it comes to men's Slopestyle, the quad cork.
Yeah.
And you've then got those echelons, the divides that you talked about. You've got another one with Marcus Cleveland, Billy Morgan, and Max Parrow talking quads.
Absolutely.
And I mean, I think we've crossed the bridge, and it's fascinating what we were talking about with women's snowboarding, where a 7 is expected. It's something that you just see in women's.
Sure.
Marcus Cleveland is doing backside triple cork 1440s, and for me, they're starting to look like 10s now. He's actually got time in that trick. It's starting to look like he can get the grab, really tweak or push it in a different direction. It doesn't look as rushed as it did 3 years ago.
That's what I was really impressed with about Anna is she's in the air.
Yes.
She looks like she's in control. She knows where she is. She has time to reach down and hold her grab, style it out, and open up and land it.
Absolutely. It doesn't look like, when these girls are landing these spectacular tricks, it doesn't look like they're getting lucky. It looks like they know very well how to do these tricks.
Okay, well, Jack Matrani is down in the finish area now.
That is right. I am down here with your new U.S. Open champion, Anna Gasser. Anna, this has been a dream of yours for so long. What does it mean to you to secure that dream here today?
It means so much. All the girls were riding so good, and that I could put down my run in Slopestyle now too is like just amazing, and I'm really happy.
And is it true that you've only been snowboarding for 5 years?
Well, 7 years now, but not that long.
7 years and you're already at the top of the U.S. Open podium. How are you able to learn how to win an event this big in only 7 years?
I just love snowboarding and I have fun and I ride as much as I can. I think that's the key.
And you are single-handedly pushing the sport with the doubles. Where is it going to go from here?
I think it's just going to go up from here. We've seen so good runs today. I think it's been the highest level in the US Open ever, and I'm really excited what next year brings.
And what was the feeling going through that victory lap? You still threw down that beautiful cab 9. I mean, how excited were you snowboarding through that victory lap?
Yeah, I actually wanted to do that for a while now, to do the double and the flat one in one run. So I just had fun on my last round pretty much. All the pressure was off and it was just happy riding.
Well, we're so happy for you. Congratulations. Cheers to the rest of your season. Sending it back to you guys in the booth.
Fascinating talking about age there. She's only been snowboarding for 7 years, and she's not one of the younger riders, but she's learned so fast. Christy Pryor, the New Zealander, another rider who does that, who did exactly the same thing, had a really strong rail game starting late and then grew the kickers.
Well, she said one thing in there that was huge. I love to snowboard. That makes all the difference in the world. When you can go up to the top of a course, the top of a mountain, whether you're riding powder or a pipe, if you just love what you're doing, I mean, she showed it. She genuinely loves to ride this slopestyle course, and she, I wouldn't love to do cab double underflips. I would be scared. I would be like, no, I'll leave that on the side. But she loves to do it.
It makes an interesting point that if you have that skill set, why would you want to be confined to a really standard course? Something like this throws you so many options. It's asking you, it's challenging you. What can you do on me? Do me justice.
Well, part of me thinks that, and I can't quite explain why, and if I see Anna later, I'm going to ask her about it. Part of me thinks that it's the course itself that made her throw the cab double underflip on that first hit. I think it was because of the course, and that scored her higher. I think putting a rail right before the last jump, it's just kind of a mind bender. And I think she was like, I want to get this thing over with. Yeah. I want to land it. And then I want to, stomp 2 sevens to make it an incredible run. That's just my personal thought. I haven't heard anything to make me think that. It's just looking at the difference in approach that these girls and guys are taking to this course. I think that's what did it.
Well, one of the fascinating things, Jamie Anderson, actually, one of the cleverest things she did was take away from the money booter and turn it into, she made the centerpiece of the course, that cannon rail.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. That was her highest scoring trick, which you called 9.6 out of 10. So this course is incredible. I can't wait to see what the guys are going to do.
Oh, that is a mouth-watering prospect. Yeah. 2 p.m. Mountain Standard Time here in Colorado. That means that it'll be 9 p.m. in Europe. No, 10 p.m. in Europe. 9 p.m. in the UK, I think. So do not miss that. We have a packed field of 10 men who are going to throw everything they've got at this course to take the 35th US Open Slopestyle Finals. Thank you for watching the women's here. It's been epic. Thank you, Tina, Tom. It's been a lot of fun.